Steve Reed has announced he would like to see more British food getting paid higher prices for in public establishments like hospitals and prisons, etc. This does have all the hallmarks of being a good idea. I think that this is something we do want as farmers, but it's done under the guise of backing British farming. Now, we all know what's been going on with farms lately and what's been happening with the government against farming. So, what we could look into here is giving farmers the means to actually be able to supply this food. So, first and foremost, you could supply this food as a farmer through markets and demand, because the hospitals, prisons, and whatnot are demanding more food locally. It will just come through the markets and hopefully get higher prices. But what I also think is, if the government are truly in the case, truly wanting to back British farming, I think they could do more for farms. I think they could make it so farms could help to diversify themselves, to be able to supply direct to these businesses, to these hospitals, to schools, to prisons, to set up butcheries, to make abattoirs easier to access, mobile abattoirs easier to start and to create, more access to on-farm slaughter, less annoying red tape for environmental health and food standards, more support for environmental health and food standards. All these massive hurdles and all this red tape that farmers go through just to get food on your plate puts some farmers off even bothering. And if the processes were made simpler, more easy, more user friendly, more farmer friendly, and more public friendly, you'd get more farms willing and wanting to do these processes. At the moment, there's so much stopping farmers investing in their farms, be it the economy, be it terrible policy, be it fear for the future of their farm. If we have to keep going on this road, excuse me, we need to make sure that we are able to afford to do so, and that we have a product in the end that's going to sell, and we have a price in the end that's going to sell for a good price, enough for us to be able to invest in it in the first place. So this is, I think, an idea wrapped up to look good for farming, but it's not a simple cut and paste job, because if that does happen, it's going to change the market quite dramatically, because suddenly there's going to be a massive demand, higher than there already is for British produce. So we're going to need more chicken farmers, more cattle farmers, more pig farmers, etc., more sheep. You get the idea. And the case isn't necessarily we can just export less or import less. That has its place, and that can be true, that we change the way we look at farming through the government. And the government are going to have to be there to be able to support farms to create this new transition for new ideas, because the infrastructure just isn't there to support these kind of ideas, because the government don't support farming. So we need to make sure we are on the government, at the government, continuing on this path, making sure that they are working for us, because at the end of the day, all of you guys pay the government's bills. They're here for us. They're here for you. And that's what we need to never forget. So I think fundamentally, supplying prisons, schools, etc., great idea. But there's a lot to do before it happens.